Alright, so now we're going to pare the bow tie to shape. I want to show you my setup here. This is what we call a chisel stop. And this is one of the ways you can get one set up. You have your two hold fast. You just block a piece of wood there, and the wood actually rests against the hold fast on its own. And this is going to provide a stop for you. This is going to be really useful for anything that requires you to prevent the material running forward. You can also use it for sawing if you're interested, but today we're just going to use it for paring. So this increases the safety factor of your work by a large degree, because there's literally no way you can put your hand in front of the work, so you wouldn't have such a high risk of cutting yourself. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you will never get injured doing this. Okay, and you can see now I am paring the edge of the material. Okay, you can also raise it up like that and use the stop to pare off the end. One of the important things is that you want this to be square to the edge of the material. You don't want it to be a tapered bow tie. Although a bit of a taper, a very slight amount of taper might be actually beneficial to the fitting. I'll explain this to you later. But right now, we are just concerned with the rough shape of the thing. You can see in this case that my fingers are always behind the chisel, never in front. Okay. There's some techniques that I will not cover over and over again, but I am going to nag you on chisel safety every time you see me with a chisel, because of the inherent risk here. So as you approach a project like this, you will find that grain direction becomes an important thing. You might find that the grain doesn't agree with you on certain motions. As you pare the wood, you see that the wood is not just a homogeneous piece of material. It will start to fray and become very fibrous in different directions. And I might do a proper video to explain about grain direction later on. But for now, I want you to just go by feel. If it doesn't feel right, if it feels too difficult, the grain is twisted, you're probably doing something wrong. Try something and adjust around here. Okay, and you can see here the pencil mark. Okay, I'm getting really close to the pencil mark. And I'm gonna just come down here. Okay, once you are almost done with paring, you can use the back of the chisel to register against the material here. And you can see you can use that as a straight edge to check. And the second thing is you can use that as a kind of a guide to just pare off and snip off the last little bit of material at the raised, at the spots there, so that you get a very nice and straight paring, nice and straight pare right there. I'm going to turn that around, I'm going to work on this edge again. And now you can see I'm doing it blind because I can't actually see the pencil line. In this case, this is not really important because the bow tie is made first before it is recessed into the face of your material, of your repairing, the piece of wood that you're repairing. So the actual shape of the bow tie is not too critical. Unless you're trying to do something that's decorative, then you might want to just pay attention to the details. But by the time you get to that stage, you probably already can do it on the reverse side and not make a mistake. So that's not going to be a huge problem for you. Okay, there's not much paring to be done on the other face because I happen to cut it very accurately, as you can see. So I'm just going to do a quick one, and I will see you once this is done. Okay, I'm back on the bench again. Here I've done the paring for the bow tie itself, but there's a bit of an end trim here that I did not finish. So we're gonna do that very easily here with a chisel. So what you want to do is just put the chisel on the line. Okay. If you're wondering why it looks a little bit shaky, it's because I'm actually quite far away from the bench right now because there's a camera in between. So apologies if I look, my hands are a little bit too shaky. Okay, so right here, okay, you can see if you hit decisively and straight down, you will get a cut that is very clean. Okay, so that's the key thing about chiseling. You want to know how much pressure to apply on each stroke and try and reduce the number of strokes in your mallet or hammer. This way you will not make that much noise and your cut will be cleaner. Okay, see, that was a single cut and that was enough to release the material. This will feel a bit difficult and a bit scary when you're doing it as a beginner because you're worried that you'll overcut or something like that. It will only take you a few attempts to know how much pressure to put. Okay, that was the perfect amount of pressure, as you can see, because the wood didn't fly away this time. Okay, it's not exactly perfect, it's just a little bit too light, but okay, one more there. All right. Okay, so you can see a chisel is a great way for you to straighten out material and flatten off any sides. And because we are going to be inlaying this, the actual surface finish of the sides is not super critical. I am still going to pare off the end here just for a better fit and easier time fitting it. Okay, and you can hear my chisel is doing really well. It's very sharp, so you will receive it in this state. If you want to learn how to sharpen it, my colleague John made a video on this, and I might make an even more extended version of this video, of a sharpening video, so that you can maintain your tools in this state even while you're at home and on a circuit breaker. Alright, okay, it seems like almost done. I might do a bit of a trim later, but this is roughly the idea. The next time you see me, it will be on the stump itself. We're going to be cutting out a slot for the stump, for the bow tie to go into. Okay, see you.